Red Film Radio. This is Chiara Nicoletti from the 76 Berlinale. I'm glad to be joined by Alex Thompson, Kelly O'Sullivan for Mouse. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So first of all, what's the starting point of this film? Because I read that it comes from, I'd say, personal experience, but it totally was like just the base and then...
That's right, yeah. When I was a junior in high school, a dear friend was killed in a car accident. And when I started thinking about this story, even though it's mostly fictional, it's 99% fictional, I wanted to explore the feelings that I had surrounding that time. And so that was really the beginning, was thinking about what it's like to lose somebody when you're young and lose them suddenly, and that you realize in an experiential way that people can be in your life 1 second and then disappear the next. And then it really spun out from there into being curious about what happens when the shy friend who's sort of been bristling at being defined by her, charismatic best friend, what happens when she's left alone? Who does she become? And the friendship that forms between Callie's mother, who has dedicated her adult life to being a mother, these two people who have been defined by this person who, leaves, who vanishes, how do they lean on each other for better and worse?
Would you say that this is a double coming of age, in terms of if we see a coming of age as a moment in which you try to find your place in the world, and in this case it's for both of us, both of them to do this, to try and find a new space, a new role in life.
I think absolutely. And it's funny, like St. Francis was described, the first film that we made together is about a mid-30s nanny, and that was considered a coming-of-age film too. And so I like the idea that you come of age again and again and again in a lifetime. Each time your stability is disrupted, you sort of have to come of age afresh. You become a new version of yourself. And so I like the idea that our stories are meeting people when their foundation is shaken and they have to create new versions of themselves.
Yeah, at a turning point of some kind.
I was thinking about what you said about, they both have to sort of try and fill that space. But I was wondering that there's a saying in my dialect, in Napoletano, I'm from the south of Italy, that says, spend time with who's better than you. Yeah. And try to take advantage of that, but in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that made me think that what happens if, that when is it good to spend time with somebody that's technically better than you, and when it's not that good because you don't find your own path, your own light. I don't know if I explain myself correctly.
Yeah. No, I think we struggle with that too, where, as filmmakers, we have so many collaborators, so many people make the process happen, and a lot of times we can lose sight of what we bring, because you're always dreaming, you're always thinking, how can I do bigger, better, how can I get to the Berlin Film Festival? And oftentimes it feels like the answer is gatekeepers or people that seem to have what you want or seem to be who you want to be. And you're absolutely right that when you're asking that question of how can I be them, there's no way for you to answer the question of who am I now. And as many philosophers have suggested, it's all there. It's all within you. The thing that you're looking for. Nothing out there is ever gonna satiate that.
Yeah. I think it's good to surround yourself with people who are smarter and better as long as you learn from them, and it's bad if it keeps you from voicing and or discovering your own voice. And I've been on both sides of it, and I feel like I still am as a filmmaker. All the time I wonder who I would be without Alex as my partner in film, sometimes when I'm terrified of the day that I will solo direct, because I don't know if I'll be as good without him. That was actually a big point of inspiration for me in writing this movie, was our relationship. Was thinking I sort of am defined by you in a way as filmmakers.
Well, maybe in your own mind.
But we are, and sort of like the fear that comes with stepping out onto one's own, which is very present in me.
I feel the same way, for the record. So.
There's something that your actresses said before that hit me, because they said the directors have their particular way, their own way of talking about the human experience. Do you see yourself in this definition? Are you trying to explore what it means to be human experience, like relationships, living, trying to find our place?
Yeah, I mean, I'm endlessly fascinated by, I truly think most of us are trying our best, and it's very hard to be alive, and most of us are just kind of like stumbling around, doing the best we can, and learning with each other and on each other, and I think the ways that we lean into each other for better and worse is just endlessly fascinating. And I have a lot of, empathy for humans. No, but I mean...
Well, I remember, you think a lot about, like, when you're becoming a parent, you're like, how will I parent this child, like, how was I parented? And then they come out into the world, and it hit, for me, it was very immediate, the thought, oh, they didn't ask for this. Like, they didn't ask to be born. They didn't ask, like, who am I to tell them, like, that's not how you do it, kid? Like, it's like this isn't their world. And so I think the ability to realize that all of us are basically just grown-up babies who didn't ask to be here.
Literally grown-up
we are literally grown-up babies who didn't ask to be here. The generosity, I think, of spirit that comes with that is exciting, like, and it's interesting to explore in film. I much prefer that to, like, kind of assuming you understand everybody, assuming you understand people's motivations, or I think that's where you maybe get stories that feel too simplistic, or too manipulative, that just don't feel true to life. So.
One last thing that it's about another thing that your actress said about high school and how it was depicted in the right way in terms of, not showing only one face of a person, the usual stereotypes, especially in teen movies, especially Americans, and are very often treated, I want to say always, but often, let's say that, how difficult it was, or how natural it was to stay true to reality in this case, and not to, let's say, fall into that teen movie trap.
Wow. Yeah. Our references were real life rather than teen movies.
Yeah.
So we tried not to say, like, all right, we're going to do a 16 candles thing here. It was like pictures, like our references were literally photos of Kelly's high school years, some of my middle school years.
The biggest challenge for that was Callie, because she's on screen a very little amount of time, but we have to love her enough as a person that she carries us, her presence is felt throughout the rest of the film. And so it was really important to show, yes, she is this golden child, she's super talented, but to make her as nuanced and layered as Minnie is. And that, I think, was done by showing how complex their friendship is. It was important to show that she's not just the popular girl, that she's, like, envious of Minnie, and that she wants to be smart like Minnie is smart, and that she doesn't, she bristles at being defined by her boyfriend. But yeah, it was really important for us to show, like, even the person you think of as, the popular girl, or even the mean girl, there is, like, a version of a mean girl in the story, like, she actually is grieving. She actually is going through a true experience. And so we always wanted to make sure, even if we start with those archetypes, we break them down very quickly into three-dimensional characters.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Callie and Alex for presenting and talking about Mouse screening at the 76th Berlinale. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And this is Chiara Nicoletti for Fred, the Festival Insider.